Hey, what's up? This is Jason Drone. Welcome to today's episode of GSD Daily. This is the first scale episode that we have. It's episode number 123. And so every Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the strategies related to scaling your business. So today is split testing. So one of the first things that we do whenever we roll out a campaign is we start split testing pages and we start split testing ads. And this kind of goes way, way back in the day. Like I was watching an Eben Pagan like business accelerator course thing, like where he was up in front of 50 or 100 people or whatever. And he asked the audience, he was like, how many of you run $1 million business online? And this was like literally 10 years ago. So that was saying something. And probably 25% of the audience raised their hand. They were like, yep, I run $1 million business. And he was like, okay, how many of you actually actively split test your pages? And they all kept their hands raised. And he was like, okay, how many of you split test and you are not running $1 million business? And like nobody raised their hand. So basically everybody who was split testing was running $1 million business because they knew the value of the metrics, So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how one word or a couple words can make all the difference in your campaigns, whether they succeed or whether they fail. So to do that, we are going to be using a piece of software actually two pieces of software. So what we're going to be talking about today, the two softwares that we use on these guys is BWO for split testing landing pages and marketing pages and all that other stuff. And then we also use Thrive Headline Optimizer. So Thrive Headline Optimizer is a WordPress plugin that you can use to deploy split tests on your blog posts. So we're going to talk about those two things. Now, the page that we are optimizing most aggressively right now, internally, we're optimizing client pages like crazy, but the one we're optimizing most aggressively right now is this page. So if you look here, this is inside BWO. We have a split test running. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, I think. But so we've had 122 visitors to the control and 131 visitors to the variation 1. Now, let me show you a preview of this. Now, the pages are going to be very, very much the same. So what is different is the headline. This is a headline split test. And you can see even in our naming convention here, we have AW Playbook, headline, test 1. So we're testing the headline and we test the headline, we find a good control, and then we test again. We find a good control and we test again, find a good control, test again. Like split testing never stops. So if we look at this page, the control is this. The headline that is currently winning is supercharge your marketing with the unabridged automated webinar playbook. Now, if we look at variation 1, which is the close second, then it's going to reload here. Print money on autopilot with the complete automated webinar playbook. So the headline is the only thing that is being tested at the moment. You usually only want to test one thing at a time, so you know what is working and what isn't. You can see that variation 2 right here bombed. It was a 20% conversion. Variation 3 also bombed for the most part. 3 out of 17. If I was to re-enable those now, then I might get a little bit better results because I know what my top 2 tests are running at. But right now we just have a 2% conversion difference between the two. So they're still very neck and neck. But all in all, it's not a bad conversion for this. It's all paid traffic. It's retargeted paid traffic. 31, 32, 33% conversion, not too bad. So that was one example of a split test with a landing page. Now, we also do active split tests on all of our blog posts. And this is something that I didn't really think was going to make that much of a difference, but it did. If we go into, let's say, all right. So all of our blog posts, whenever we add a new blog post, we always run a split test. And we use this Thrive headline optimizer to work it through. And it's really a very, very nice plugin. But basically, you have your main title, your main subject line for your blog post, and then you add in as many tested titles as you want. Usually we add in 3 or 4, and then we just let it go. And we see which blog post, which title is getting the best response. And then usually like once a month, I'll kind of come in here. I'll go into the headline optimizer dashboard here, and I'll just look through and say, okay, how many of these blog posts have gotten more than 50 views? Because if they've gotten more than 50 views, I can start to the numbers start to have some impact, because it might be if there's 3 headline tests or 4 or 5 headline tests, then and they got 50 views, then each one saw 10. So I might be able to start deactivating like clear losers at that point. So if we just scroll through here, these are all of the tests that are currently running right now. We're going to scroll through. We got this one, how to become a professional blogger, has 55. And so we're just going to open this one up. And then we're going to scroll down through. This one has 153, 108 views, 144 views. And I'll get the rest of these later. There's another one, done for you lead magnets. That one has 313. So let's look at how the stats are shaking out for some of these guys. So actually here, we need to open up the stats portal, not necessarily the blog post. So I'm just going to close these out. I'm going to go back here. There we go. So I'm going to open that one. I'm going to open this one. I'm just looking for anything with a pretty decent number of views. That way we know we're looking at something that has been seen by a bunch of people. So we know a little bit better about which headlines are actually working. Now, the headline for this, or the subject line for this blog post, is done for you lead magnets. Simple formats get big conversion. So that is the control. Now, if you look at the control, this isn't the first time we've tested this blog post. So the control right now, it's got 55 views and 22 engagements, which means the engagement rate is 40%. 2 out of every 5 people, or 4 out of every 10 people who hit that blog post actually do something. They click on it, they do something. Now, the other 3 tests that we ran, this test, and this test, all have worse performance. Worse as in the control is winning. It is beating these 3 other tests right now. So the engagement rate is 40% on the control, and we have 16, 33, and 26. So they're all doing worse. So we didn't win. The control still is the control. So we're going to stop the test and choose the winner. And we're going to set this top one as the winner because the other tests weren't even close. They weren't even touching it, So the control worked out better than the rest. So we set it as a winner. It's going to say test complete, blah, blah, blah. It removes it from the testing pool and puts it into like the completed pool. Now, let's see, look at this one. So this one, again, negative 33% engagement. So, this one, again, if we look at the green, so green is our color. So you can see that green shot off well, then it, blah, and then now it's back up to being a winner. So over time, this was a winner again. So we're just going to go ahead, set this as the winner. Nothing is being worked on there. So let's look at the next one. Oh, so the next one, check this out. This one, let's look at yellow. So yellow is setting up 2-stage Facebook ads to boost your marketing automation. Now, yellow is the 3rd result down. So our control is actually getting a 6.9% engagement rate, 2 views out of 2 engagements. And this one is 3 engagements out of 28 views. So we're at a 10% engagement rate on this one. Well, that is clearly a winner. It's not awesome, but it's a winner as far as it's beating the other 2. So what we're going to do, we're just going to stop these variations because we aren't at like a 90% confidence rate. So we don't necessarily want to end the test prematurely, but we do want to go in and make sure that these losers, we don't want them to keep running. We want to like kind of narrow the test a little bit so that we can see which is working better. And then we got this one. So check this out. We got marketing automation and how to use it to trigger conversions. That's getting a pretty abysmal engagement rate. But then our red one here really just, it's standardizing with the rest. But all in all, I mean, it's got a 3 times better engagement rate than the top. So this is a winner. We're almost at 90% chance to beat original, and it's 193% improvement. So I'm just going to go ahead and call that one a winner because it is clearly beating everything else. So it's good. Now, you can see how subtle little like changes make the biggest difference in terms of how people are engaging. Now, on a myopic level, 1%, 2%, 4%, 5% doesn't necessarily matter. 5 out of 100 people. However, if you look at the long tail of content online and being able to scale campaigns from a paid traffic standpoint, from an organic traffic standpoint, 1%, 2% conversion, a lot of times makes the difference between a wildly profitable campaign and a campaign that kind of sucks. So it's understanding how to get those little tiny percentage improvements for every step of your funnel, whether it's the ad, whether it's the landing page, the webinar registration page, whatever, is getting those little incremental improvements. That is what is going to help you scale your campaign and turn something that is making a couple grand or 10 grand or 20 grand a month into making 100,000 or $1 million, So being able to scale these little changes up makes the biggest difference in scaling the campaigns overall. So if you have any questions at all about like split testing and optimization and ads and funnels and all that kind of stuff, just go to doneforyou.com/start. Fill out the little application on there, book a time to chat with us, and we'll put together an action plan for your business. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and comment below, and then we'll jump on with you. So I'll talk to you soon, all right? Thanks.